In this video, I'm going to show you how you can organize your videos in folders in a logical way that will allow you to stay organized. So as a first step, I recommend that you get a Sharpie and you label the physical boxes that contain your VHS tapes or your video 8 tapes, your high 8 tapes. Get a Sharpie and write down tape 001, tape 002, and so on each one, so that when you capture it or digitize it and you put it into a folder on your computer, you will be able to match which physical tape goes with which folder. So this is the way I set up my folders. I call them tape 001, tape 002, and so on. And the reason why I use those leading zeros is because I assume I may have more than 100 tapes, and I want the order to stay correct in Windows. Now, in addition to tape 001, you notice I also have a description of what's on the tape. What I tend to do is use the first item that's on the tape. So if Julie's birthday is the first thing that appears on tape 001, that becomes the name of the tape. I don't try to list out all the items that are inside that tape, because then the folder name might get too long. Now, if we look inside the tape 001 folder, you see a series of subfolders, which I've named 01 raw, 02 corrected, 03 edited MOV, and 04 edited H264. In 01 raw, I put the raw capture file, the file that I captured using whatever software I'm using to ingest the video. So if you open up the 01 raw folder, you see a video file in there. And I want you to notice the naming structure that I've been using. So I like to start with the date. If the date is known, the specific date with the month and the day, I use that. If I don't know, if I know it was 1997 in the fall or the winter, I'll sort of write it out that way. Now, after the date, I have an underscore, and then I have S5900U. Now, this is just an example, but this is a VCR model. So I like to put which VCR I used to do the capture. Then I'll put 2 dashes, and I'll write the next hardware in the workflow. So in this case, for instance, maybe I have a Panasonic ES15 in the workflow, so I would include that. And then 2 dashes, and let's say I have a Data Video DVK200 in the workflow, so I would put that in there with 2 dashes. And then finally, my capture device, let's say, is the ATI 600, so I would write it out that way. Now, the benefit of doing this is that if ever in the future you get a better VCR or a better capture device or whatever, you can save that new one in that same folder, and you can compare and see which one you like better. If we open up folder 02 corrected, what you'll find is the file, the video file, after it's been processed in hybrid. So in this case, you can keep the same name as before, and you would just change the file extension at the end. Or you can create an even longer file name, and you can include some of the details, some of the key details about what you did to the file. So for example, in this case, after the ATI 600 text, there's 2 dashes, and it says QTGMC 59.94. Or you could do the same thing, but maybe you would remove all the stuff that was at the beginning of the file name, all the stuff about the workflow that captured it. Maybe you just want to include information about the filtering process in this version of the file. Another alternative is to keep the original file as is, but to add a text file with the same name that includes the filter information from hybrid. So the way to grab this information from hybrid is once you have the Vapor filtering tab open, at the bottom right of your screen, you'll see this little icon. If you click it, you'll get what's called the VaporSynth script view, which you can copy and paste into a text file in Notepad. You can save that on your computer, and it'll be listed with your MOV file. Finally, one last trick that I like to use, which saves some time. I like to create a folder on my computer that has all these subfolders in them, but they're blank. There's no video files in them. Sort of think of it like a template. And what you would do is you would copy and paste the whole folder, and then you would change the name of the folder to make reference to the new tape that you are capturing. And if you look inside, you will see that all those subfolders are already there. They're empty, and they are ready for your new video files. And you can do this again and again. One final thing to show you, I know this is a video about file naming, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention another step that I do when I ingest these captures. If there are a lot of different items on the or in the AVI file, what I would do next is drag and drop it into Virtual Dub. Any version of Virtual Dub will do the trick. And I would find the start point of the, call it the first video, the birthday party, the wedding, whatever it is that I'm trying to capture. I'd find the beginning of it. I'd set a start point. I would set, let's say the end point is there, for example, and I would then go to video direct stream, audio direct stream, file, save video. And I would save it in the correct folder and subfolder. In this case, I'm going to keep it in the raw folder because it's still a raw file. I haven't done anything to it. All I've done is I've clipped it. And then I would include, the date, and I would say a description about what it was, and then I would include the same information about VCR and so on. I would then find the second video, or the second segment that I wanted to extract. Let's say that it's over here. I would create the start point, the end point, make sure that video is set to direct stream, audio is set to direct stream, and then I would go ahead and save the video using the same information as before. So I'm just going to steal these details and I'm going to change this over here. Let's say that it's now a different month. And I'll do it like that. I'll press save. So what this has done now, has copied without processing. It has copied out the two clips that were inside that original raw clip. And in fact, once that's done, once you've sort of extracted the different elements that were in that initial tape, you could just simply delete this tape, or rather this file, because you now have all the elements of it that are exactly identical and equal to, in terms of quality, as the original capture. Hey, thanks for watching to the end. If you are starting down the road of digitizing your videos, your VHS tapes, have a look at some of the other videos in this channel. Cover a lot of different topics. Some might be of use to you.